folks, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And tonight we got a great show for you. It's full of abundance, of course, with my co-host Lucky Stone and our special guest Nina the Mystic. Thank you for both being here tonight as we celebrate and learn about abundance and how it is that we can manifest it in our life. And I think Lucky does a lot of that by his affirmations, but that's not enough to create abundance. We have to do more than that. We have to act. We have to feel. We have to say it in our minds and create it in our dreams and thoughts and our beliefs. And then it will come to fruition, because it just doesn't happen by thinking and saying, yep, I'm going to be abundant. What say you two? Are you abundant?
Well, you got to clarify this. Abundant of what? Financial abundance is wonderful. Abundance of happiness. You've got to focus on the right thing. You've got to clarify what you want abundance of, because abundance is wonderful, but if you have abundance of negativity, it's going to screw your life up. But if abundance of happiness, abundance of prosperity, abundance of financial, wonderful. Know your focus and believe it and see yourself in the happiness of abundance.
You are so right, because I think a lot of people get misunderstood about the idea of abundance being money. You know, money is not always the abundance that you're looking for. And that is, I think that's what people say, oh, you know, I'm never going to be abundantly rich, and that will make me all these other things, happy and have friends and all that other stuff. You don't need to be abundant in riches in order to have the other things. You may be lacking in friends, in happiness, in knowledge, in all kinds of things. And that's what you need to focus your ideas to be abundant for. Nina, are you abundantful?
Yeah, I totally agree with what you guys were talking there. You know, there's all forms of abundance, you know, prosperity, you know, it's not always in form of monetary, you know, having abundance of love and gratitude, like we're talking about tonight. You know, if you have that, then you have everything. You know, if you're content with what you have, it doesn't matter what you have, as long as you're content and you're happy with that, you know, then that's great. That's all you need. You know?
Yes.
We were talking about, you know, electrical things and stuff. You know, sometimes we're an abundant of junk around. You know, we become too abundant of things as well, you know. So,
well, and that's the thing. You become hoarders are a good example.
Yeah. Oh,
I can't hear you, Robert.
Well, we lost Robert.
Oh, Robert froze. He's got abundance of computer issues.
Actually, that's very true. That's been going around here as well. I noticed at the grocery store they were having issues with the internet and with the points card program that they got going on. Oh, now
back? Am I back?
You back?
Yeah, you seem to be back. Yep.
Good deal. Anyway, being abundantful, you know, what is it? It's you know, your subconscious. At least that's what I've read. You know, you want to convince your subconsciousness, but your subconsciousness does not work with words. So all the affirmations in the world are not going to help you. I know, Lucky, you do the affirmations, but what's the one thing that you have to do with the affirmations?
Well, that's what the affirmations are for. They're a building block. And I mean, you can say the affirmations aren't important, but they're part of they're the foundation of where you're going to go. And well, the other thing is you have to continue to do it every day. You have to make it a habit. You know, doing something for 21 days, a habit becomes, you know, it becomes part of your normal routine. Do it all the time. Do it, and once you say it repeatedly, it goes into your mindset, your subconscious. And once your subconscious gets it, you'll start manifesting it because you'll start finding the right order, the right pathways. And it's a process. And of course, you say an affirmation every day for 21 days, and you say, "Oh, it's not working. Nothing's happening." Well, maybe you didn't see the right pathway. Maybe the signs were right in front of you, but you were so focused on the other things in life, you might have missed it. So, it's a process.
Mm-hmm. It is definitely a process. When to speed up the process, though, from what I read and understood, and I can see that from my own life, is when you want to be abundantful in something or you want something, you not only have to say what you want in your head and imagine it, you have to feel it like you've already got it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what people do wrong. It's like, oh, I can say that affirmation over and over a million times. It's like these church people. They'll say that rosary over and over and over, a million times. But after a while, I think it just loses meaning. And so even though that they're saying it, they don't feel it anymore. They're just saying the words. You agree?
Mm-hmm. That's huge. Yes, exactly. You can't just repeat. If you have an affirmation, you cannot repeat it word for word every day. You have to modify it daily because it has to be a living thing, a document. Yes, and you also have to see yourself already achieving it. You have to actually imagine yourself having it. Not I want, but you already have it. You're right. That's part of the process. And sometimes I forget that because I'm already doing that every day. It's like I already know what I'm going to have. I just have to come from here to there. Simple. So I already have it. I already have the right car for me. I already have the right job, which is really one of my building blocks because it just stumbling blocks is the work. Work is my biggest thing because I love my job, but sometimes I realize this isn't where I belong. I need to go somewhere else. And part of the process is getting myself out of seeing myself at the job I'm at right now and to focus on imagining myself in being at my job that I really belong at. And that's my problem. And that's, I think there's a lot of problems with manifestation as it is because we keep focusing on what we have right now and we forget about, we have to focus on what we want to be, the perfect, it already be there. We just need to take the steps, a path to get there. The path to get there isn't what we ask for. We're going to be someplace, and how the universe takes you that path. Let the universe figure that out.
Yeah.
You have to also believe it. That's the most important thing. You also have to believe you can achieve it. It has to be maybe a little bit out of reach, because if you want to manifest, if we want to manifest $200, that'll be easier because it's possible. Things will fall into our life. But if we want to manifest $1 million, do we really believe that we can get $1 million? Maybe Robert can because of he's an oil tycoon. But for us normal people, it's not going to. $1 million is not going to fall in our lap. $200 might fall in our lap, but $1 million will never fall into our lap. Well, maybe some of us can manifest it. Be poor and somehow manifest $1 million. But for most of us, even if we are a poor person and manifest $1 million, within a year we'll be a poor person again and be deeper in debt.
Well, I kind of agree with you there because of the fact that, just because I'm in the oil field doesn't mean I'm a tycoon. It's just the fact that, I'm out here, I can manifest and save my money, and that's how, I'm getting there because of this. I can
don't forget too that Robert's a single guy. So no family, no kids or nothing. So you're able to save money because most guys, even in the oil field, that money's gone. The wife's already decided where that money's going. So, yeah.
I agree with that. But the thing is it's hard for people. Like let's just pick out the millionaire thing. you don't know what $1 million is like. Nina, I'm sure you don't either. You don't know what
You know,
having.
to be honest with you, $1 million here on the west coast of Canada right now is not going to get you far at all. $1 million
Yeah,
is going to give you a run of the mill kind of shack of a house, pretty much down here right now. It's not
yeah.
even going to be something nice. It's going to be something that's old in an old neighborhood, not a nice neighborhood, So $1 million, like, 20 years ago, $1 million. Wow, that's a lot of money. But nowadays, not really. But and also going back to what you were talking about before too is, visualizing. It's not so much that $1 million, it's what that $1 million can do for you. So if it is a house, right, visualize that house, or a car, or, if you're in a really bad situation, just safety, finding a safe place and food and whatever, so I do think that a lot of people, they come into like magic and all this kind of stuff, and they think that, oh yeah, I'm gonna, be a millionaire, some deity or spirit or something is gonna, make me win the lottery. Well, that's not how it works, guys. Okay, we would all be millionaires if that was the case. That's not how it works. And I think it's doing the smaller, like thinking the $200 is probably a lot more feasible, that you can manifest maybe the 200, and just keep doing that every day if that's what you need to do, rather than sitting there waiting for some kind of lottery or something to fall in your lap. That's not going to happen. Most people are lazy. When they do the manifestation, they don't actually want to do any of the work, like you're going to try and manifest this new job, right? But a lot of people think that, oh, I'm just going to sit on the couch and eat potato chips now because I've done my manifestation today. I did my little mantra, so that job is going to come, instead of actually going out there, making some calls, putting out your resumes and shaking hands. You know what I mean? Like, so you got to follow up with the action as well. You can't just sit there and write Post-it notes on your window every day and think that, something's going to land in your lap. You do have to actually follow up with the action part of it as well. So.
Okay, well, I like that thought. So we're going to use Lucky's example. Lucky, you good with that?
Oh, absolutely. Sure. I got all kinds of ideas. Yeah.
Okay. Big shout out to Mr. Floyd's Universe, who's in the house tonight. Good show over there on a esoteric tea. Great.
Fantastic. Well, really smooth show. Fantastic show. It was enjoyable from beginning to end. Absolutely.
Everybody, you didn't see that, go over there and rewatch that. Really good show. I enjoyed it so much. Mr. Floyd, I gotta have you over here sometime. Really like to have you on. Anyway, let's get back to our topic. Okay, Lucky, we're gonna use your example. The thing is, okay, you talked about a job, right? You don't want to be at this job forever. And so what have you done to manifest with abundance to get a different job? Have you put out applications? Have you just thought about it? Did you imagine yourself somewhere else? Or give us the lowdown on that.
Well, first I had to look at what jobs are out there in my field. Very important. You have to figure out where I am right now, and can I change enough, or do I want to change enough to a different spot, different career? But you have to look around your area to figure out, okay, what jobs match. You don't have to find the perfect one, but see what's out there. What are they hiring? Then you look at the companies. You look at the companies around and see, you look at, of course, there are different websites, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Fishbowl. They all have different ideas of people working at those companies. You look at what are those people writing about those companies, because Fishbowl and Glassdoor are anonymous. You see how they're talking about those places. Then you have to look at your resume. This is the worst part of looking for a job. You have to look at your resume and have a lot of action words and say, okay, what have you done at your job that meets the goals, or how you improved your department, or whatever you have to do. And then you have to make that fit into the new job you're at. So you can't just have a resume and just pop it in there for any job. You have to modify it and use your creative mind to make it fit. Or if you're lucky, use Chat GPT and ask it to modify your resume. You don't use it, but you have it modify your resume and you look and see, okay, what did ChatGPT, how does that look? Here's my resume, my physical human resume. Okay, yeah, there's a ChatGPT resume. Then there's the one that you wrote. And then you go, okay, ChatGPT, I want to fit this job description. You look at it again, what it wrote, and you use that information to make something in the middle.
Okay.
It's a process, and it might work because you've got to get your feet in the door. And then the other side of things, you have to look up how to interview. You're at a job interview and you think, okay, I'm just going to answer their questions. That's not how it is. They're not just interviewing you, you're interviewing these people. You have to find the right questions to, hey, what have the person you've hired, what have they done to, to improve your department? Or tell me about the stellar employees you've had, and what employee do you find most proud? You don't have to have their names, but you have to have them give you examples of how they feel about their people. You don't really care their answer. You want to see what they say about the people. Their answer itself is as important as how they phrase it. Do they treat their people with respect, or are they just commodities? It's a whole process. But yes, getting a new job is a lot of work. But if you want the right job and you want to be happy, it takes a lot of work. So yes, I do figure all sides of it. And of course, the pay is important, but that's here or there. It's going to be there. You can't modify that. The pay is the pay. If it's not good enough, you get the hell out of there. You don't need that interview.
I agree with you, but that I think you missed the question. The idea, the thought is if you were talking about wanting a new job, have you what have you felt it? Have you want a new job? You say, hey, I want a new job. But have you imagined yourself at the new job? Have you imagined what you want at the new job? Have you imagined this stuff? Have you said affirmations about the new job?
See, that's the thing. I have to imagine all that to create the resume.
Okay.
I have to figure out what. I have to take all these information and create. There's no way I can create, because I can't. That's the whole process of creating the right resume for the right job. You have to figure out what fits, and you have to see yourself there, of course. And then you have to put that. You have to make the resume fit the position. So yes, writing a resume, you have to imagine yourself doing that job. There's no question about that. Or you just pop in the resumes and you'll never get an interview. Why isn't I have a great resume? Why am I not getting interviews? Well, you don't have a great resume. It might be great black and white, but it doesn't fit the job. You have to see yourself fitting in that job. It's a whole process.
You basically got to custom make your resume for each job you apply for, almost. But the beauty about nowadays, though, you got that, the AI to help you with this now. All you have to put in is the keywords, and boom, they'll have the resume for you. Not like back in my day.
That's how they advertise it to you. That, remember, everyone is doing that. That's your problem. That's your competition. It's if you say, oh, ChatGPT will make the right resume for me and get me this job. It's like playing the lottery. Everyone's doing that. You're never going to win. You're never going to get the interview. You've got to take what ChatGPT gives you ideas to create. You go, okay, ChatGPT took the information from the job description in my resume and created things. That's not enough. You have to see yourself, okay, how can I improve this job? How can I fit in this job? That's the ChatGPT can't do that. There's no passion. There's no emotion. And you have to bring your emotion. You have to bring your imagination. You have to bring your creativity and create a better resume in the middle. Yes, and that does involve imagining yourself in this job and saying, how can I fit? And of course, then there's a cover letter, which is a whole different thing, which whether it's needed or not, adding a cover letter, which a lot of places say you don't need a cover letter, but they still have that option. It's another thing that you can rate. And when you write the cover letter, that's another thing. You imagine yourself in the job and telling them how can I improve this place? What can I bring to this? You make a story. You don't. It's not a good story, but it's a given idea so they can read it quickly and say, okay, this is the guy I want to interview.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take that as one step further. And I always recommend this is like, because you're right, you know, for every position that you're applying for, there's probably 300 people doing the same thing. And there is a lot of competition out there, and, you know, they're getting resume after resume after resume. Now, what's going to make yours stand out? So that's one. Now, another thing that a lot of people are failed to do nowadays, because nobody wants to leave their house, apparently, is to actually follow up and go into that place, okay, and shake hands with that lady on the front, okay, because she's actually the boss. If she, you know, if she puts that resume on the top of the pile, you know what I mean? So, you know, bring some coffee, bring some donuts. You want to sell yourself, because that's essentially what they're buying here is you. What makes you stand out over all of these other people? You all have the same education. You all sort of have the same kind of experience. What makes you the one that we're going to want? And so you got to sell yourself. So it is, you know, your personality, you know, how you get along with that lady up front. That's going to be a huge one before you can even get in to see the guy that's going to possibly interview you. So following up, always don't just drop them off and never call back, or go in, better yet, go in to see them if they have a physical office, you know, and do that. Like in my day, I never went more than a week without a job, but I pound a payment. I would go in there with my resume, hand it. We didn't have all these things that you have nowadays. And yeah, I never went more than a week without a job doing that, you know, like you would have to be pretty, I don't know, non-confident is where it comes down to. You got to have that confidence that you are exactly what they're looking for, you know, what they need. You got to convince them of that, you know what I mean? So yeah.
I like that. Confidence. I think that should be on our list of things, because you got to be confident that your abundance is coming, that you're going to get the job, that the money will flow in, that your bank account will, you know, increase. You know, things like that.
Well, no, not even going into the money aspect here, but you got to believe and have the confidence in you that, yes, you are the best person for this job. You're not just bullshitting here. You actually believe it, that I'm going to be a whole lot better than all these other people. You know what I mean? The money thing, that just comes in. That's a, you know, byproduct of it. But yeah, having that confidence, definitely. Because if you don't have the confidence in you, they're not either. And they're not going to hire you, you know. And that kind of goes for dating as well. You know, like you got to walk in there with confidence. You know, if you're looking down at the floor twiddling your thumbs all the time, chances are it's not going to be a second one. You know, and you're not going to get called back. You know what I mean? So it does come down to that, you know. So I'm so glad I'm out of the race.
Actually, there was an interview where a guy walked in with my resume and say, they just handed me your resume. I'm gonna have to, you know, read it over, and because, you know, the person who was supposed to interview wasn't here. And I said, I put down, like, I mean, what would you normally ask? And let me explain on my resume. Let's make this easier on you rather than you wasting time just reading in front of me. I'm sure that will make you uncomfortable. Let's work this together. And honestly, that job, I wasn't top of the line. I was not supposed to, basically they already decided they would hire someone else. So I was just there for no apparent reason. But I was asked back another time for another job because I impressed that guy so much that he started talking about how he felt out of place because he knew that he was coming in to interview someone that no one's going to hire. It was just going through the motions that they needed to interview so many people. And he felt so uncomfortable doing this. But I made him at ease and said, okay, let's go with my resume together. Make this quick for you, so you don't, you know, sitting reading something in front of someone else. That's just ridiculous, embarrassing. And, you know, without telling him that, I said, let's work this together and let me find something. You know, we'll talk this through rather than you having to figure out what to ask. Let's make this easy. I mean, and I basically said, this is a surprise for you, and, you know, I don't want to make you uncomfortable. I want this to be easy for both of us. And I was asked back for another position entirely.
Well, there you go. It may not need for this one, but there's something else. If you sold yourself, like they like you and they like, yeah, I think this person could benefit the company. Absolutely. They'll find a spot for you. You know what I mean? So
I could have easily said, I know for a fact that this guy doesn't want to interview me. They just threw him at me. And, I think this is probably one of those, they call them ghost jobs, where they just interview people because they already have something they want, but they have to go because corporate says they have to do so many interviews. So they bring people from outside. I know what those are. But rather than succumbing to that and saying, I have it in the past said, I know this is a waste of both of our time. So let's end this now. And I have walked out of job interviews, and I realized that's a mistake, because I can turn this around. And again, another thing is, a wasted job interview, one that you really don't need, it's a time to practice your interview techniques and to know, okay, what questions go the right way, and can I ask questions on top of my head for a job that I know right now they're not going to get, but can I play with this? And there's always something you can learn if you're willing to be open to learn, and say, okay, I want to learn something. What can I do? Where can I put myself into walking out of this interview at a better place than I feel right now? Because I know I feel kind of terrible because I know I'm being tricked. Let's see what I can do better. I want to feel good walking out of this place.
Absolutely. And another one too, that's a killer for abundance, killer for anything, is desperation. If you come in there being like you desperately need this job, and you have that desperation energy about you, you're probably not going to get it. Like, you're almost better off coming in, like he was saying there, like he kind of knows that this is just a whatever, and you automatically switch out of that shyness to just, oh yeah, let's just get this over with and whatever. Like, you're almost better off getting the job that way, knowing that you're not going to get this position, but there might be something else. Because if you come in there like desperate, and that goes again for dating as well. Like, if you're desperately, trying to find somebody just because, probably for the wrong reasons, they're not going to go for that. Like, they can smell that desperation a mile away. So that's another thing. You're almost, and a lot of people will say, I have no problem getting a job while I have a job. But if I'm out of a job trying to find a job, and again, that goes for dating as well. Not to say that you should be going out there trying to find another spouse while you already have one. Okay, that's bad. But it almost is easier. And this is why affairs happen, I think. So so desperation, that's another one you're going to work on. Because the same with abundance. Abundance is not going to come to you if you got that desperation energy about you. Like, you got to be open, for that flow to come in. And so, confidence and non-desperation is definitely up there.
Confidence, confidence is huge. I think confidence is the key to all of this, because if you don't have confidence, you'll never see yourself in that position. So you're wasting your time. That's great. Confidence is the key. You're right. That is true.
Confidence. That's part of manifesting. That's part of the this whole attitude thing, the confidence, that the ego, sometimes that ego is a big deal with the confidence, and because it's acting, the confidence is acting like you've already got the job. I already got the job. Hey, good, thanks for meeting me here. When do I start?
Exactly.
What do you mean you start? Hey, you haven't got the job yet. Oh, you're going to hire me. I know you're going to hire me, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's you got to be careful with being cocky as well. Like, you know what I mean? And you kind of got to feel out the person, what kind of person they are. Are you going to be able to joke with this person or not? And so that takes a bit of experience to learn that. But I know when I was working as a hairdresser, I got about 15 seconds to feel out this person before I start touching this person. Some people don't like that. Some people do, so, and you got to have that rapport. Otherwise, it's going to be a very uncomfortable 20 minutes here. You know what I mean? So these are things that, depending on what kind of jobs you have and whatever, but you do have to read the room as well. There's a lot that goes into it, isn't it? When you start thinking about it, that we don't think about, because a lot of it is subconscious, and we just do it just naturally, without even thinking about it. So, because we learn it on the schoolyard, really. That's where we learn all of these tactics that we're going to use in our adult life to trying to manifest, whether it's job or whatever, you know what I mean? That we kind of learn it early on, don't we? So,
yeah. Well, here, Okay, so we did the job thing, but say we already have a job. We already have a little bit of money. We're doing okay. You know, what do we need to do to keep where we're at? Uh, we need to feel gratitude for what we have,
Hmm.
appreciation for what you do have. A lot of people say, "Oh, I don't have any money. I mean, I can't afford anything. I don't have enough." Those are bad things. And I know both of you probably said the same thing many times. I know I have. I don't have any money. I'm broke. Well, once I say that over and over, I mean, hey, can you go out tonight? No, I'm broke. I remember saying that. Oh, man, I don't have any money. I'm feeling bad for myself. What should we say instead of those type of things to convince ourselves that you know we have enough? Well, I paid my bills. I may be
Mhm.
my bank account may be zero, but my bills are paid. I've heard people say
Right.
that my bills are
Yeah.
all paid, my bank account's empty, but I'm doing okay.
Well, because
you
that's the
know
thing. There's so many times for those guys that asked you to go out to the pub, I bet you they didn't pay their bills, and that's the money that they're using at the bar right now. You know what I mean? So I don't let anybody make you feel guilty for not, being able to afford something, because you know what? You paid your bills. That's right. You got food on the table. Things are good. Things could be a whole lot freaking worse. Just look at the news, So anybody that's living in the Western world here, I mean, if you got a safe place to sleep at night, a comfortable bed to sleep in, and you got food in your belly, I mean, even as much as gas in the tank, whatever you got. I mean, be grateful for that and stay in that abundance energy that, hey, I'm enjoying this, which means that the universe is sending a look at that as well and say, hey, she enjoys that. Maybe I'll give some more of that then. Because if you're always in that, oh, I never have this, oh, me, this and that, then the universe is going to think, oh, well, I guess they don't want any more of that. So I won't provide it anymore then, because they're not grateful for what I already provided. So why would I provide you more of that then if you don't, enjoy what you already have? So
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Lucky, what do you have to say on that? Have you said those words? I'm broke, can't afford, I'm down on my luck. This isn't going right. I mean, imagine with this vehicle breaking down, you had a lot of those thoughts going through your head.
No, the
No?
vehicle breaking down was losing the vehicle. I have attachment issues. I love that car, and I still love that car. Everything fell into place for me. There was never a problem. I didn't sleep for almost 2 weeks. I slept a couple hours a day. I work at night, so it was tough for me. But it was the anxiety of getting myself to the right car. So what I did was I imagined, okay, I need the right car for me. I kept focusing, okay, me driving, finding the right car. I don't care what the outside of it looked like. I just feel like dependable, you know. And with this, I relied on my wife because we manifest together. And I allowed my wife,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we're going to do work together where on the weekends, because, I have weekends off and she works partial at night on the weekends, no big deal. What it was I have social anxiety. Going to car dealerships is my worst fear. I just talking to people horrible. But she was the linchpin where I knew that she could ask the questions, no technical, but I see how they treat her would give me the impotence to to ask the right mechanical questions so we could work together. And that was my mindset. It's a team effort. I needed help. My wife would help me. I needed this car. Things would fall into place. The insurance company did what they had. I had a rental car. Um, there's plenty of dealerships, and honestly, we drove an hour with like 8 different dealerships. And then
Mm-hmm.
the place that we actually bought the car is 10 minutes from my house. The right car for me was 10 minutes from my house, but I was always keeping the right mindset of dependable car with these little features, and
Mm-hmm.
just all-wheel drive, small SUV. That was the ISPIT. That was all I really needed. I need a small SUV because it's going to be better on gas, all-wheel drive, good with the snow and the ice, because New England unpredictable. but and something that was dependable. Boom. And it all fit into place. I looked it up on Consumer Reports. It's got a good rating. Everything worked out. But again, I didn't go with I'll never find a car. I knew I was going to find a car. I just needed to put things into place. And and there were other things available to me where I have a coworker who lives close to me, and he says, "Hey, you need a ride. You just call me, and we'll go in together for a little while." And but I never needed to use that. But again, it's all about keeping yourself open to the possibilities and then seeing yourself, how do I fit in the possibilities? You don't have to say, I need this. This is exactly what I want. You say, what are the possibilities? And imagine yourself in those possibilities and, with your manifestations. So you don't have to have a concrete manifestation. You just have an idea of where you want to be in the future. So, okay, how do I see myself fitting in there? Well, I don't quite fit. Let me modify it. Yeah. So the car thing, all the anxiety was losing that car. And, but the money to get the car was never a problem because I knew that was going to fall into place because I got great ratings. Not having money for food and stuff like that, I never have to worry because if I need something, I know that I can look and go, okay, I'll find a sale. But I always know that's going to happen. If I need something, I'd have to say, okay, this is what I need. I see myself having it. Okay, what are the possible paths to get there? But that's my mindset, and that might be just because all this crazy manifestation pays the affirmations, because again, you're right, without the affirmations, only a tiny block in the foundation of your life. You have to see yourself and be positive about, I'm there, I'm already going to be there, I just need to know how to get from here, reality, now, to there in the future, and make it a shorter trip. The future being a few days rather than months. And say, okay, how can I move the months into a few days?
Yeah I agree, but those are all good points, especially getting a car and what you need, what you want, might not be perfect, but it's close. I mean, nobody I don't think people really expect to get the perfect. I guess maybe some do, the perfect thing. I'm manifesting this and it's gonna be perfect. Well, that just lets you down. You gotta have that.
You see, you gotta define what your perfection is, and the perfection is what you need versus what you want and desire, and what you need is the most important thing. So I think that as long as I get everything I need, that's perfection. What I desire is nice. Like this car I just got. Every car I've had in the past has had a sunroof. Sunroofs are notorious for causing trouble because they leak and stuff like that. This car I have right now doesn't have a sunroof. I did not manifest that I was going to have a sunroof. I love sunroofs because I drive like an idiot. Even in the winter, I always like to have the sunroof open to everything flow. I don't need it. I just want it. So this car doesn't have a sunroof. It has everything else I wanted because I knew in my manifestation that the sunroof was never critical. I just loved having them. And, my last car had a leak in it, and it would leak in the driver's side. And I fixed that because the sunroof had a block. Because every sunroof leaks, and there's always drain plugs. And if those clog, you'll get the water come into the car. And that's how I got the car cheaper, the last car, because it had a leak and blah, blah, blah. I fixed that myself, no problem. But again, you have to focus on the perfection is what you really need versus the things that you desire. Oh, I want it. It's not perfect because these things, but you really need those little things, to be perfect. No, perfection is what you really need. Everything else is just fluff. This car is perfect every way, but it's red. I don't want a red car.
You're reading my mind, because that's what I was going to bring up, for example, because there's people out there that, I want I found the perfect car. It was everything I wanted, had all the stuff, just what I was believing I wanted and everything. And then I got there and it was red. Well, the universe, you can't be so picky. That's what I'm saying, is you can't be so picky. Like, hey, there's that one saying where, the guy is sitting on his house with the roof, and the water's coming up, and he's saying, I'm praying to God. You know, you've all heard that one. And the water's coming up. Oh, God's going to save me. God's going to save me. And people come by, and over again, all these people come, I'll help you. I'll take you to safety, And eventually flood comes and wipes him away, and he dies. And well, and God says, yeah, I sent you all these people. Well, it wasn't perfect. This is what I wanted, kind of thing. I wanted you to come down and, lower a golden parachute, so I could, jump on and you would take me to safety. But, he couldn't see the truth, which was right in front of his eyes. And I think that's what you're talking about. And there are people out there like that will pass up that great job. They'll pass up everything. The car that they always wanted because, well, I got there and there was a little rip in the seat. So, well, isn't that the car you really wanted? Yeah, it was, but it had a little rip in the seat, so I didn't want it. I'm still hoping I can find the right one. Well, I don't get it. What, you think those things come up every day? That you can manifest another car that's just as perfect without the rip in the seat? Or that the color's red. You got to settle sometimes. You got to be happy for what you got.
Well, actually, no, that is important too. When I'm driving, if there's a constant thing where there's traffic around where I live, and if I'm driving and I'm going to turn out, and for some reason the miraculous thing happens where there are no cars on either way for a little while and I can pull out, I thank the universe for allowing me to have an easy way to get out. Another thing is when I was looking at this car and putting a down payment on and all this crazy bullshit they have to go to get a car and everything, I drove in and realized I can't turn around and drive out. So as I'm backing out, I thank the universe for helping give me a path to see the path to get out of it and find the right way to get out of this, because car dealerships, they always pack them with more cars than they really need. But constantly thanking, no matter what happens, when, my wife sends me out to get food and I go to the store and there's only a couple of things left that exactly what we need. I thank the universe for keeping these two things that I need because, they're exactly what we need to bring home for food or my wife sends me out for stupid bananas, I need, partially right, green, yellow bananas. They have to be like green and yellow. And I'm like, how am I going to find green, yellow bananas? They're either going to be green or they're going to be yellow. I go to the store and there's a bunches of green and yellow bananas. There's the yellow ones and there's the green ones. Thank the universe for giving me the green and yellow bananas to make my wife happy. Again, I'm always thinking and thanking because I know if you don't thank the universe says, well, maybe they didn't want it. Maybe they're not happy, And also being happy is one of the most important things to actually being lucky and being prosperous is appreciating what you have and just being in joy more in your life. Being miserable just gives you more misery. And maybe that's also if you're happy, you kind of see more happy things. Or I don't know. Maybe it's like brings like or something like that. Or maybe I'm just crazy and just that the world sucks and I'm just so happy and everything because I'm blind to it.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with letting the universe, do it for you, petition, this is what I want. There's nothing wrong with saying specifics like I want a red car within this budget, within, this far from where we're at, whatever, you know what I mean? And say it out to the universe, ask your spiritual team, or even write it down on a piece of paper and burn it, release it to the universe that way. Put out little things like that. You'll be surprised. But then you also got to be open to it too, to pay attention when that red car does come along. Because sometimes we do kind of oversee things, and same with the job or whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, and there's nothing wrong with thinking big as well, be specific and you'll be surprised. I mean, what is it going to hurt? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? But you're not going to get it. You know what I mean? So just play around with that whole thing, and see what comes.
Well, that's the most important thing is, you can try to manifest things that are just out of your reach. But again, you have to believe it's possible to get there. And you can manifest some amazing things as long as you can believe that there is even a slight possibility to get it. it's strong. It is strong to actually
Well,
manifest some
so
amazing things.
yeah, again, you want to be, you want to be real here. Like, you're not going to manifest, John Travolta showing up tomorrow. That's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? But you can maybe specifically say, I would like a tall, dark, handsome, or something like that. You know what I mean? Or, with the car, if you only have $5,000 to spend on the car, you're not going to try to get that $100,000. That's not going to work. But so what you're trying to do is manifest that perfect car for you that's in your budget. And maybe, it does have the color, maybe, or whatever it is that's important to you in there, but it's got to be within reason. You got to be reasonable here,
And Nina, I totally agree with you. I think that's the problem with people trying to manifest things, to act in abundance, is they want a vehicle or they want money, and right away they jump to the $1 million. I want $1 million. I want a $100,000 vehicle. If you you can't understand what it is to have that vehicle, to have the $1 million, to have these things, to have the mansion on the hill. You can't have it, even though you may want it. You don't understand the concept of it. You're better off, like Lucky and you said before, is you gotta, and especially what you were just saying, hey, I can, maybe I could get I got 5,000, maybe I could hope for a $6,000 car, and maybe I'll run into the right spot, and the guy will say, okay, I'll lower the price to 5,000, and then you'll get
that's what I mean. Like, that's the thing. So go aim a little bit bigger, because you never know. It might be a $15,000 car that's now all of a sudden, because there's an emergency on there and they have to just sell it to you or whatever. Like, some kind of opportunity is going to come where you're going to be able to get that car for the 5,000 that you have. You know what I mean? So you want to shoot for the stars a little bit too, but you got to sort of be within reason. Like 15,000, is, there's a fairly good chance that you might be able to get that for the 5, but the $100,000 one, probably not. You know what I mean? So you got to be a little bit realistic as well, within sort of realistic. Yeah. Because it's not like some poof magic trick, and that's a lot of people too, I think, are kind of under some illusion there with that, there's no fairy godmother coming to bibbidi bobbidi boo. Okay. It's not gonna happen. Okay. But
well, let's spend our last few minutes or end of the show here talking about the I am. I am broke. I am struggling. I am worthless. I should be saying I am surrounded with resources. I am full. I am a magnet to prosperity, and your subconscious mind will make it reality. But so many times people say, I'm broke. I'm struggling. I am worthless. I'm stupid. I don't know how many times I've heard that. I'm stupid. I've said it. I admit it. I'm stupid. Well, if we say these things over and over, and it's like Lucky does, you're doing that's an affirmation. In a way, it's a small one. I'm stupid. It's only a couple words, but I'm worthless. I'm broke.
Well, that's the thing, and there your subconscious is hearing this. Your body is hearing this. I find this with illness, like somebody who has something. They're like, I have, I am this. Like, I am this.
Hurts. My neck.
Yeah, no, I have cancer. I have MS. It's like, why are you focusing on that so much? Yes, there's some symptoms or whatever, but I know, because all you're doing is affirming that I am this thing. Whether it's disease or if you're just talking smack talk to your own self, because we're our own worst enemies. Yes. Honestly, like, if we talk to other people the way we talk to ourselves, we won't last too long here, right? So, and that's really unfortunate, because the subconscious do pick that up, and that's where we lose that confidence. Because your body's questioning you. It's like, oh, so you walking in there all confident, are you? Well, last night you just called yourself a dumb fuck. You know what I mean? So which is it? Or which are you? You know what I mean? So you're contradicting yourself there. And so, you really got to stop doing that to try to, on all different levels to build yourself up so that your subconscious thinks that you're all this in a bag of chips. I mean, when you walk in there for that job or whatever, you got this, you know what I mean? You have that confidence again. And that confidence comes from being kind to yourself, honestly. Because if you're not, I mean, you don't have a chance.
Well, the thing is, we have to learn to get out of that repetitious manner. It's like, I'll put it this way, it's like swearing. A lot of people are F this and F that, they talk like a drunken sailor most of the time. I mean, I've heard that many times from a lot of people that I wouldn't expect it from. But we do these things and we don't think nothing of it because it's not a swear word. But it's really affecting us because I'm not good enough when I should be saying, I'm great. I can do this. I'm not poor. I'm working on it.
Comfortable. I mean, as long as you're not hungry, that's the thing. Like, how much do you need? And that's one thing here in the Western world. It's gotten overboard. It's gotten way out of hand. I mean, I'm watching this series called Lost, and they're lost on an island, and you really get to see how comfortable they get with nothing, like barely anything, and because what do you really need? There's only certain things that we need, and they all have that on that island. You don't need all this stuff that we have. And I think that's another thing too, that you gotta start remembering that. We don't need all of that. If you got a, comfortable bed, you're safe, you got food, that's all you need really, and you got, you loved ones, you're safe, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. Your health. I mean, your health is number one. That you really do need. And that's something that you should be investing in, but
we've done shows on hoarding, before, and just think of all the things that we have that we don't realize we're hoarding, or we got that we don't really need. And do we need a TV in every room? Do we need 15 pairs of boots? Do we really need 4 cars in a garage, and and can I drive that many? Do I need 52 flashlights? I prove that one.
I was gonna bring it up. Well, that's the thing. I mean, you look at women's closets, and it's just ridiculous. You buy this expensive outfit, but you can only wear it once. You're not expected to wear that again because they've seen it now. I mean, what a insane concept that is. But that's how it is.
Oh, man, this one's dead. I'm gonna buy a new one.
Oh shit.
Oh.
So anyway, so women's closets just gotten out of hand. Same with the shoes. Can't wear the same shoes again either. They've seen them now. And so, and I guess guys probably have the same sort of thing with your tools and all your stuff as well. There's certain things, and it's just gotten out of hand. That's what I'm saying. We need to tone it down a little bit. And I think the future coming up here, I think that's what's happening. We are getting a bit of a slap upside the head. And we're going to have to tone it down a little bit, and we're going to kind of go a little bit back to the way it was, which is probably not a bad thing, because it has gotten out of hand. But in the meantime, though, just be grateful for everything you have right now.
So there's the thing. Bonnie says, I'm a minimalist. I can't say that word.
Well, that's the new thing now. They're drilling that into us now. Minimalist, tiny homes, where they're getting us ready for this whole American dream of the big, huge house and the 2, 3, 4 cars and the cottage and the vacation. All that stuff is going to be gone. All of that, that whole American dream is going to be gone. And we are going to be going back. So they already been trying to program us for a while now to get used to these concepts of minimalist, tiny homes, van life, all of these things. Because not to say that you're all going to be like that, but we are definitely toning it down more towards that sort of thing. Yeah. So enjoy what you have now, because I don't think the next generation is going to have what we had. That's not the way it's going to be, I think. But
even so, being a minimalist today, and I said that word, didn't I? Oh boy, anyway. Being one today is a lot different than one living, 100 years ago. That's what I'm trying to say. Even the
Kind of
most
looks the
stringent
same.
person today, living a minimalist life, is so much more well off than the person living his daily life 100 years ago. I
I think it
mean,
would
they
be very
barely
similar, to be honest with you, except for the technology end of it, obviously. So we got the
well,
electric
yeah,
whisker
but
now instead of the hand whisker. But you know,
the
like
comfort creatures, the housing, the thing. Yes, all the do jobbies we have, but most of that stuff they had back in the day were, just very simple items, and just having anything was, oh my gosh, I have, I have a
yeah, well,
lamp on
I
the
was saying
wall.
that's kind of where we're gonna go back to, where we're gonna start making more of our own things like we used to. Women used to knit and crochet, clothing for the whole family, and that's what you got at Christmas time. Is something grandma spent all year and
Well,
crocheting and knitting
that,
this, right? And the guys were out
that,
there woodworking, and made
yeah,
things.
that's exactly true.
Yeah,
Most people had like two pairs of pants. The women had the
yeah,
Sunday
that's it.
dress, and then they
Sunday
had
dress and
one
then
for the
the
week.
other thing. Yeah. Hmm.
You know,
Yeah, that's
and
kind of where it's going to go
even
back to. It's not going to have this insanity of these big, huge closets with shoes and dresses that we can only wear once. I mean, this is insane. It's
yeah,
absolutely insane. It cannot be continuing on.
but
So
that's what I'm
um,
saying is even the
yeah.
minimalist today has got more than three pairs of three pairs of pants
Well,
and
no, they
and
don't. That's
a
the part
shirt.
of being a minimalist, Rob, is that you only have, minimal. You only have
Yeah,
the
but I
one,
mean,
two pairs of shoes and two
but
pairs of pants. And,
yeah,
you live in
but they
a
do
500 square foot thing, and
they're like, oh, I'm living in my van, but they got 14 pairs of shoes. I got my flip flops and I got my boots and I got my other shoes and I got 14. Well, I watched those van life shows. Their car is crap full of things. Well, I gotta have this little
yeah.
stove and I gotta have.
Well,
Oh, I
yeah,
only
that's
got
true.
two
That's
pots
true.
and I got a knife and a fork and blah
Yeah,
blah blah. Sure, they don't have much, but they have a lot.
yeah. They have more than
That's
they need. Is what you're trying to say. Yeah, they have more than what they actually need. Yeah,
So
because I mean, really, how much do we really need? That's the thing. We don't. Like I'm very lucky that I've never got into that stuff with the shopping with the clothes. Like I can get away with 2-3 pairs of shoes. That's it, and that's for the whole year. That's your winter, summer. You basically got your season shoes there. That's it. That's it. Like I've never had that need to have all shoes and clothes and all this stuff that most women are worried about. Even curtains. It was my mother-in-law that suggested, oh, shouldn't we maybe put up something? Okay, I didn't think of that, curtains, but I don't. I'm like, I guess I'm a very much a tomboy, so I don't have those type of things. That I don't worry about those type of things. But yeah, it just baffles me, that people do. It's like, well, even I set myself up here for retirement. Like, what do you really need? Like, I don't need to be buying all new and everything. Like, that's fine. The stuff that I bought, years ago is still fine. Like, why do I have to have another? You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. Yeah. Anyways, I'm rambling. I'm sorry.
just one thing. I have to say one thing.
Go ahead.
What is the show about? It's about abundance. And what you
Abundance.
just said for the past 15 minutes was we don't need it.
That's true.
What it is convincing
abundant.
yourself that you are abundant with what you have. So, because people think abundance and prosperity, they think an overflow and cornucopia full of the fruit coming out, you know what I mean? And they're not seeing that little fruit bowl right in front of you, that's all you need right now. We don't have to worry about the overflowing as long as every day our cup is full and that we are full and we are satisfied, you know what I mean? I think we think too much of like the hoarding thing, and that's part of a prepper too. You know what I mean? Like, because we are thinking ahead, we need to have all this food stored up and all this other stuff. So, so I have that. You see, I don't have the shoes, but I got the prepping stuff.
Well, yeah, but Lucky brought up a good subject. I'll just use myself as a flashlight. Everybody knows I've used flashlights 100 times, but the idea, I guess that in that respect is the abundance of. I have an abundance of flashlights, yet I keep manifesting the biggest, baddest, best flashlight known to man. I want to get the bigger, better one. And I can imagine it in my head, and I can imagine me having it, and I want it, and I start saving for it. And eventually I get the bigger and the badder and the best and the, oh my gosh, if I have one that's 10,000 lumens, I want one that has 20,000 lumens,
Oh,
and
right.
and do I need it? No, but that's what I'm manifesting. That's what I'm wishing for my abundance. And really, I'm really wanting them, is that right? Shouldn't I be thinking of better abundant things than that? That's
Well,
another question.
It's human nature, though, I think, always wanting bigger, better, badder. You know what I mean? Like in anything.
the
But
most
do I
important
need it?
No, that's the thing. You don't.
the most important thing is, why do you want to manifest this? You want the
Yeah.
biggest, baddest flashlight.
FOMO.
Fine.
It's FOMO.
But
It's always been FOMO.
But that's not the answer. The answer is you have to figure out what is this? What is the reason behind one? There's a psychological problem somewhere that you're wanting these flashlights. Somewhere that it's missing. You've got to fill that first before you keep buying flashlights. There's something in there that your flashlights are filling.
Probably something during
Unfortunately, it's a
childhood.
big hole.
A childhood thing that it was dark and you didn't have a flashlight one night, and you probably told yourself, when I will get older, I'm going to be getting lots of flashlights because this is never going to happen to me again. Kind of thing. Yeah. It's interesting.
I do have flashlights all over my house, only because when I was a kid, blackout.
Well, that's what I'm just saying. I just said, as a kid, you ended up, it was dark, and you told yourself that this will never happen again because you're going to have an abundance of flashlights. But I guess somebody who's never been through a blackout wouldn't think that way because they haven't been through that. So it all depends on, the experiences you've had growing up, especially what you think is, needed, something that you thought was very important when you were a kid. Maybe you still think it now, just because of that, some traumatic something, but yeah, I mean, it's human nature, I think, to always progress, but it comes out of laziness, though. We're always trying to make it faster or whatever, so that, we don't have to put as much effort into it. That's what I find with human nature is laziness is behind it usually.
Well, what I should be doing, I should be feeling gratitude for, what I have, and feeling the appreciation, for what I do have, all those flashlights,
well, one day you're going to be thankful. You're going to be, thank God you have those flashlights, so nothing wrong with that. If you're going to be spending your money, I mean, it's not the worst thing you could have bought.
Is it the flashlight you want, or getting the flashlight, or looking at all the different is it the buying that's more important than actually owning the flashlight? That's the weird thing about flashlights, because I don't know what's behind it. Because I mean, I have some night you've given me a thing, it was like this thing, and it's bright as amazing flashlight. It's still USB-C charges, and boom, it runs for months because I use it because I work at night, so I'll walk through an office, and some offices are lit, some offices are not, and I'm not gonna turn a light to walk through an office. So I just flashlight, boom, 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 out, no problem. And it fits in my pocket. It's always with me. I put it on a keychain at one point, and I'm like, no, I don't need the keys. I'll just bring the flashlight with me everywhere. And now it's with my wallet. It's so tiny, it doesn't matter. But that's the thing. The flashlights that you're wanting to buy, what is it meeting that the flashlights you already have don't meet it? So that's the weird thing. And I think that's what the flashlights are an example. They're a simple. They're an allegory to other things in life, that all the things we want because we're hoarders, we want FOMO, fear of missing out. Well, what are we missing out on? Because the thing we want to buy,
the fear of missing. It's not that we're missing out on anything. It's just fear that we are,
Yeah. The fear, that was one of the things I wrote down too in my notes. Fear, loss, stop abundance. Going without and depleting yourself. Words you use to shape your reality. Okay, so fear, loss, abundance, or stop abundance. And there you go. So my fear of not having a flashlight has caused me to spend a lot of money on flashlights, where I could have used that money to do other things with.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, but at least
know.
now you know, though. Now you're aware of it. So now you'll be a little bit more mindful next time that thought creeps in that you got to buy another one.
Off the hook says, my hubby bought me a flashlight to take somebody's eye out. Yeah, I bet you it ain't as good as I think I got my flashlights here. I got my really big ones. See, so I bought this flashlight, which was supposed to, see all the little thingamabobbers on it.
LEDs, all LEDs, those freaking LEDs, yes.
A mini mag. It's supposed to be it's 7,000 lumens.
Oh, wow.
And it's supposed to be big and bright. Well, that wasn't good enough, so I had to buy me another one that's even bigger. And now this one here is 14,000 lumens. I mean, when this thing gives off a light, it's enough to blind anybody from a mile away.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like that. What does this light with 7,000 lumens and this light with 14?
We can blind them even faster.
I don't have enough light with the 7,000 lumens. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Well, who needs a gun when you got the lumens? That's all you need.
The thing is once I got this one
right there.
Once I got this one, I realized that this one's just too heavy. I don't need it. It doesn't fit my hand. So I bought this cheap $20 one. This one.
Should have just gone to the dollar store in the first place. I like the big mag lights. The mag lights are good and I think you can get them at Costco, like in a 3-pack or something like that, because you can use it as a weapon. So as ladies, if you guys are out there in the dark, you probably should think about,
Yeah, you see, I got the big mag light too.
Yeah, so a mag light is great, ladies, because you can whack a guy over the head real good with that. Yeah.
Do you notice I have all of these within arm's reach? Can you imagine how many I have in the house if these are with?
I bet you got a few of those.
Oh, this one works too. Look at that. It's just not as bright as the other ones, but it's big.
But it's great for as a weapon.
Carry around.
The police use these all the time.
I know a security guy who carried a mag like that big, and someone tried to jump him, and they didn't jump him. He stopped him. But the mag lights. There was nothing. He hit someone with that mag light. It really took him out, knocked him clean out.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying, ladies. That's all you need. Yeah, you got your light and you got your protection right there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No,
and you
got
get different sizes. But anyways,
and then I got this one here too. Then I went and bought this one, and it's got the little laser beam, and it's got a blue light, a blue light so you can find stuff, and then you got a laser beam light. I don't know if you can see that. You can see it on my hand, but anyway, it's green. And of course, you got the regular light. All in one, and it's flat, and you can stick it on you, like so, and you can clip it on you. That's why I got it, because it has a clip. There you go. And you wear it.
Form and function.
Yes, lots of function.
There you go.
Like I said, these are all within arm's reach.
Yeah.
Wait till I move
if the day comes and the power's out, you're gonna have lots of fun with all those flashlights. Then,
I know. I'll be apocalypse comes.
Somebody was saying something about batteries, but I'm hoping that most of these things are rechargeable now, or no? I don't know.
Of course. I wouldn't buy anything that doesn't recharge or have rechargeable batteries.
But I guess if you don't have power, then it's going to be a little more challenging in powering those things up. So you would also need, like, I have a crank radio flashlight type of thing. Remember those that you crank around, right? Yep. Crank. And it's
I got one of those.
Radio and the little flashlight, because you never know, if there's no more juice anywhere, then
I guess we're a little getting a little off topic. So before we go,
so
I do want to say
we're happy about having lots of flashlights. Apparently, that's our abundance.
I know. But we should be wrapping this up, but I want to shout out to everybody. Thank you for all of you for coming tonight. For all the abundance. I want to I hate to ask, but I hope everybody can send out some good healing to my father. I remember he was on the show with my mother a while back. He had a stroke. He's in the hospital trying to recoup. So send out some abundance to him so he can get better. Anyway, thank you all. If you do that, appreciate it. It's good to get him well again, especially for my mother. She's having a rough time with it more or less anything. But with that, Nina, you got a show tomorrow night. We're going to be on there. It's going to be great. I can put it up here. There you go. Tell us about the show. And
we have a special guest with us, so you guys gonna make sure you come and check us out. Come and check her out. She's been on tons of shows and whatever. Seems like she's pretty legit, so I'm kind of excited. Yeah. And then on Wednesday at noon, I'm going to be on Karen Holton's channel. So I put the link in there. Wow. So if you guys are around noontime, my time, that'll be like 3 Eastern. Join us in the live chat. Make sure you go over there and subscribe to her channel and check us out.
Thank you. Good. That's the deal. I'll see what I can do. Wednesday's my busy day, but I'll do the best I can to get over there. Yeah, she's going to be on tomorrow night. It's going to be good. She talks about
what's her name again? I can't remember now. Oh, where is it?
What?
Nancy Thames. That's the lady's name.
Yes.
Yeah, that's coming on tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Yes,
yeah.
And she talks all about aliens and her abduction.
I mean, she has the website that's called disclosure.com. So
yes,
she's been around for a while. She snapped that up way before it was big.
And all aliens aren't bad and kind of thing. And I think that'll be very interesting. I hope you tune in. She's kind of like I had Preston Dennett on. If you haven't noticed, I did a bunch of shorts out there lately with Preston Dennett. We did that out of body exploring show. Hopefully, I guess she's been on his show or was going to be on his show. So like I said, he's wrote 28 books on UFOs and Bigfoot and out of body and all that kind of good stuff. So, she's right in that crowd. So
if you guys have any questions, go and check out the link, right? I got her website. It's the first link you're going to find in the description there. Go and check her out and then show up with questions. We got her live for at least an hour. So, there's your chance. Yeah.
Yes.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Lucky, you got anything? What do you got going on next week for Esoteric Tea?
Oh, Courtney is going to be away, so we have a pre-recorded show, and I'll be honest, I've forgotten the subject. We did it a couple weeks ago so we could prepare for this because life, and I honestly don't remember. It went so well too. Unfortunately, I haven't slept very well for the past week, so my brain is off and on, which is fun. I slept great last night, but I'm still recovering. Courtney will post whatever the subject is, and maybe I'll remember at some point. But yeah, my life is in turmoil for now. But everything, we got a car. The car's great. I'm going to heal. Everything's coming into fruition. I mean, even though I haven't slept very well all week, I slept 2 hours a day. I was still hyper during the job. So I don't know what happens in my brain, whether when I get so sleepy that I just can't function as a normal person. I just start sucking energy from the universe. I don't know what was going on, but everything's going back to normal now. So I'll have a normal show eventually. So, and
it's the anxiety. Anxiety will cause you, and a car is a big deal. To Americans, a car is like their lifeblood. It's in our veins to have that freedom of the road and like you said, that all those creature comforts that you want in that vehicle. You want to be able to do these things and have a nice trip, and you don't want to be worrying about stuff. And it's like putting on a pair of gloves. You don't just take that one. Doesn't work out that way. We're very particular. We're very particular.
Yeah,
So,
we need certain things, uncertainty, and transportation is definitely one, especially when you have to get to a job at a certain time. Yeah, it's definitely
Yes.
stressful. Yeah,
It'd be nice if I had a job 5 minutes from my house, but
yeah,
now my job is half an hour, well, actually 45 minutes from my house. So you need a
mhm,
car. There's no question about it. The Uber
mhm.
is too expensive to Uber back and
Yeah.
forth.
Well, don't
yeah.
worry. Pretty soon we're all going to be in the 15-minute city, and nobody has to worry about that. And
Which
we're going
I
to be
would,
happy
at
about
this
it.
point, I'd actually be happy with a 15-minute city. That way,
Well,
just
it's not a bad idea, to be honest. I mean, we all should be able to afford. That's the problem. Like here, nobody can afford to live in Vancouver, yet they work there, and they're spending like an hour and a half each way to get to work. And that's not how life should be.
no, you're right.
We
Yeah,
all should be able to afford to live in the city we work in, and not have to spend more than 15 minutes to get there, And so I
absolutely.
agree with the idea. Yeah.
I agree too. It seems like some of the options they're trying to push might actually be better, but
Hmm.
it's the other side that the problem is.
A lot more
Yeah.
stress, so much less stress too, knowing that you're only 15 minutes away from. So if you don't have a car, oh well. I mean, I can walk there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's
Public
another burden on
transportation.
living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's all good. But anyway, okay, great. Well, you know what, everybody? Join me Tuesday night on Native American Myths and Legends, and tomorrow night on Nina's show. And with that, remember, abundance, abundance, abundance only comes if you can manifest it and believe it in your mind, in your heart. Say it over and over. Get an affirmation for it. Believe it like you have it, and just do it. And when you do it and it comes true, I think at some point in time I have. For certain things, you guys have too. You just got to embrace that and keep doing it over and over and over and over again, and then do it on bigger stuff. And with that, when everybody do something nice for somebody else, remember, be the frequency you want to receive. Everyone, love you all. Peace, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.